Yeah, y'all, this truck like us. You know what I'm saying? We got the one and only True King in effect in the show. So what's going on, brother True King? How's everything going?
And everything's going good, blessed, highly favored. God has been good, man.
That's good.
He's
That's
been real
good.
good.
Likewise, I like to hear that. So, I had to get you on the show because I like what you got going on. You're really stuck on the fitness for truck drivers, and that's a big issue in the trucking industry right now. A lot of drivers, some of them are out of shape, eating unhealthy. So I like what you're promoting and what you got going on. So, just introduce yourself for the people who don't know.
And well, I go by the name True King. Call me TK. I'm a truck driver, man. I'm a content creator, coach. A little bit of everything. I mainly make videos about fitness and just inspiring, motivating, liberating the nations. That's what I do.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I like that. So what inspired you? What inspired you to be a truck driver? I see you work for Prime. Like, what inspired you to like drive for them and become a truck driver?
Well, to be honest, I started off working for for a friend. He drove box trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I just tested it out and I wasn't really, it's not something that I saw myself doing, I'll tell you that. So
Okay.
it ended up not working out. I worked for him for about a month or two, then it didn't work out. I ended up going working for Amazon. But through me working for Amazon, I started doing more research on truck drivers, the pay and everything. And then the way the world was going,
Mm.
it I was very uncertain times, especially with the vaccine, coronavirus, and
Mm-hmm.
schools potentially getting shut down. I didn't really know the way the world was going to go, but I felt like, man, I needed more income. I needed more assets. I needed more things that are of value, like land, resources. So I felt the route I was going. I was in college. I was on the verge of getting my associates in computer science, but I felt the ROI, return on investment, the time it would have taken me to start actually seeing a return, it would have taken too long. And I didn't think we had that much time, like based on what was happening around the world. I'm thinking, man, it's a lot of conspiracy stuff going on, and you can't buy or sell it out of market. A lot of things were going through my mind at that time, and I felt like, man, I need to have ownership. I can't wait 2 more years. I can't take that route. So I switched up everything, and I said, let me get into trucking. That's
Mm.
really what got me into trucking, to be honest,
That's
where I
what's up.
started.
That's what's up. So you were headed to school at first, and then you said it's not enough time. Like that, it might take too long to start making that money, and you saw that the trucking was more, the money was a little bit more faster. Especially at that time, the trucking was booming too.
Yeah, trucking. All I seen online, and it was better than working at Amazon warehouse jobs. 'Cause that's where I was at. Grocery stores, Dollar General. That's where I used to work, and the money was more.
Hmm.
It was definitely more. And ROI, like I said, return on investment is how long would it take me to get, to point A to point B in not even saying a short time, but get more value in a short time and in the long term. And I felt it was a skill set that you can only go up. The more experience you get, the more money you will be able to attain, and then the more I'll be able to do. So that was my mindset.
Right. So how Prime treating you? Like, how's everything good? Because I'm seeing the feedback is like 50-50. I mean, it doesn't seem too bad, but like the feedback is like 50-50. I do see people getting money with them, and then you might see if I might see a few people say this and that.
Well, for me, everything's been good, and
Hmm.
I hear a lot of noise online about people saying it's a lease and a scam because I'm a lease driver. I'm not a
Hmm.
company driver. I'm a lease driver,
So you
so I
doing you
get paid
doing lease
70.
you doing lease to purchase?
No, I'm just leasing a semi truck. I'm not really for ownership. It's more so the opportunity. Because when I first came to Prime, I didn't really, like I said, I knew I wanted to make more money, but I didn't know if I wanted to like do this long term. I just
Hmm.
wanted to make money at the time. I didn't really have everything figured out, but I knew I needed more money, and so I didn't go in straight into a lease purchase because I didn't know if that was the route that I was going to take fully. and use this as a long term play. But I'm just leasing. But how is it treating me? It's been good, man. Trucking in a whole, I feel there's so many benefits to trucking outside of just money. It's the time away, the isolation, man. It can really change you because it changes your environment. And now you're not around anything that used to influence you. You're around yourself. Now you get to think, you can get closer to the Lord. You know, you get to absorb information and you can just give God that time to put back in you what was already there to make you aware. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That people sleep on isolation. That is crucial to growth, man. You need time away.
Right,
And
right. That's a
trucking
fact.
it, that's one thing that trucking has done for me. But as far as off that, but revenue, I mean, money's been cool with me, but I understand that if you don't create if you're in a system, uh, and you're not, if the pay is not what you would want, I mean, you can't really complain about the system. You gotta up yourself. You gotta improve yourself, increase your skill set, and learn what to do with your money. And I think the people who have financial literacy and also learn what to do with their money, I think they're in a great position. And I
Right.
mean, they don't see what the people complaining are seeing. That's what I'll say.
Right. So for the people, and you're right about that, about isolation. Like it does, it's like real calming and like peaceful. Like it gives you a peaceful energy. But to get back on the leasing real quick, because a lot of people talk bad about leasing, mainly lease to purchase, not just leasing. How does the leasing go? Because to my knowledge, like they might make sure that you have more loads and like what you're just paying like somewhat like of a rent on the truck, and like what are you responsible for when you're just leasing the truck?
When you're leasing a truck, you're responsible for the repairs, but this is a newer truck, so everything is covered under warranty. So major repairs you don't have to worry about. It's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be covered under warranty.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing you have to worry about is things that wear and tear through time, like brakes, tires, things that wear through time. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my expenses. Then I have a truck payment every week, and then I pay for APU, and then if there's a toll, I'll pay for that. And then it depends on if you want to use Advocates, there's a tax provider that helps you with your taxes
Mm-hmm.
weekly. And so that's all I pay. And the truck payments, people say they're expensive. Um, they're 1,200 a week. That's the truck payment.
Okay, 1,200 a week. So that company, so are they guaranteeing you miles to like cover that plus, and have like a nice net?
Well, I wouldn't even say guaranteeing the miles. We get paid. We're not guaranteed certain miles. We just get 72% of the load. But yeah,
Ooh, okay.
majority of the time, yeah, I'm good. I cover the truck payment and I get profit too.
No, well, I like now you're talking my talk because I like percentage over miles. So you don't have to be
Yeah,
chasing miles and driving across the whole country. You're getting 72% of the mile of the load you're
load.
saying. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't I didn't know it worked out like that because I'm mainly here about lease to purchase, but leasing is a little bit different. So getting back to the fitness, how do you balance out like the work plus exercising, like, because I see you really get it in. You at the truck stops, you're doing your jumping jacks, your push-ups, dips, you got the everything, you got your lift weights. How do you balance everything out with the work?
to show y'all the pike push up. You work your shoulders crazy. Man, I'm gonna be honest. At first, it's an imbalance, and then sometimes it feels like an imbalance, especially if you're teaming. But I'm gonna tell you for solo right now, because majority I am solo. So everything has an adjustment period, man. When I first came in, it was it was a difficult transition because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know my schedule. I didn't know typically how it was gonna work. But through time, you gain balance and you learn how to maneuver. So for me, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lifestyle, and it's really just a habit. It's like it's natural for me to do. I won't say I don't have to think about it, but my body, my mind knows like, all right, when I stop, I exercise. I wake up early, I exercise. I don't want to, and I just think I may make it seem like it's easy, but once you do something consistently over a long period of time, it just becomes a part of who you are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say as far as how we balance. There are days where I don't feel like working, I just work. There are days where I'm energized, I work. I don't get too high, too low. I just do what I know I have to do. That's really how I balance it, to be honest. And time management, I try to wake up 30 minutes before my clock comes back every day. That gives me 30 minutes to work towards whatever I want to do. That's time for myself because the rest of the day is likely given to the company, the loads that I'm delivering. You know what I mean? So you got to set time for yourself.
Right.
And a lot of drivers don't do that. So I recommend waking up time, finding time to exercise while you're driving. It comes with just when you drive, you're going to know. You have a 30-minute break to where you can exercise. So I exercise on my 30-minute break too. Those are the times where you're supposed to exercise either before you start your shift, waking up 30 minutes early, throughout
Mm-hmm.
your 30-minute break, or after you drive. You got to pick those three. But typically, you start early, it sets its tone for the rest of the day, and everything else you do is extra credit. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But yeah, that's how I've been able to find balance. Just having a plan framework for my day.
Yeah, because I've been seeing the Instagram videos like you really on it. I seen you even make time to go to the gym. And then even if you're not at the gym, you right at the truck stop getting it in.
Yeah,
I even seen one
yeah.
time when you were, it looked like you was with a trainee and both of y'all was working in the truck stop.
Oh yeah. I was training.
Mm-hmm.
I was training. And so, you just teaching them the routine, showing them the ropes, what I do, how I do it. And, that's all I want to do, just be a good impact to people in the industry, reshape what it means to be a truck driver and just reshape the way people think about truck drivers and fitness, the industry in general, man. Because there's no
Right.
reason why you're a truck driver, you can't have the body type you want. You know what I
Right.
mean? Everything around you may say no, but you got to be the one to say yes. And you just can't accept what the world throws at you. You got to reject that and set your own terms, set your own rules. That's how
That's
I feel.
that's a fact, man. And I see so like with your trainees, you also encourage them to like eat healthy and exercise as well.
Of course, man. Of course. When when the trainee was on my truck, they, I didn't really I didn't get truck stop food. I influenced, whatever I got to eat, they gonna eat. You know what I mean? It's really
Mm-hmm.
that simple because when I was training with an instructor, I didn't have the luxury to go to a Walmart, a Target to eat what I want. It's rare. Whatever his schedule was, I had to follow that. So
Right.
I couldn't fill up the fridge. He already had his stuff filled in the fridge. So I was stuck eating fast food, pilot,
Mm.
whatever he stopped, I had to go and find something make it work like that.
Mm.
So you're really confined when you're in the training phase because you're on your trainer schedule. So whatever I'm on, they naturally just gonna have to be on because they're around me.
And that's a good encouragement too, and you're in good influence towards the trainee because now they have more healthier options. And what I like what you said to Walmart, because as a truck driver, that's like probably like the best place to get like good Whole Foods or healthy foods, or even sometimes if you can make it to a Whole Food, but like Walmart is really like your best option as a truck driver because the truck stops, they're trying to change. You might see some packaged chicken salad or fruit salad, but if you really want to get on your A game, Walmart is the best option, and they have parking, so there's really no excuse not to hit up a Walmart.
Exactly. There is no excuse. And I'm gonna bring this up. I do research and I look at statistics, I see articles, and I looked at it was saying 70% of American truck drivers did not exercise because there were no exercise facilities available to them. And
Hmm.
another reason was because they didn't have access to fresh food. And I'm like, yo, that's the biggest lie of mankind because I can go to the grocery store any day that I want to.
Let me show you what they're saying about truck drivers. Pull this up real quick. Study of American truck drivers found that 70% of study population did not practice any regular physical activity because exercise facilities were not available to them. Now I'm gonna be honest, when I hear this gotta be the biggest excuse in history, mankind 2024. That don't make no sense. Why do you need a gym to get in shape? That don't make sense. Even people that's not trucking, the biggest excuse I hear them say is I want to exercise and get in shape, but I don't want to just drive to the gym. Man, that got to be the biggest excuse. Who made you believe that you need a gym to get an exercise in? Wherever you go should be your gym. I want you to understand that. Understand that people, we live in a capitalistic society where they're going to promote gym to get profit. So that way you connect exercise and being in shape with a gym. But I'm here to tell you that's not the case. All right. I broke that down. Now, what's the other biggest excuse? I don't have access to fresh food. That's the biggest cap. Bro, go through 30 different states a day. I'm probably exaggerating, but you go through so many states a day. There is a grocery store in every state, in every city, multiple. So you saying you don't have access to fresh food is a cap, but you got access to fast food. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to understand that you have access. You just not looking. You've been programmed to believe that, oh, I can't get an exercise in because I don't got a gym. Oh, there's no access to fresh food. I'm gonna eat the fast food. No, there is a grocery store in every state that you're in. So I want you to understand that is not an excuse. Now, what you're gonna do with this information is up to you. But I'm saying this to say there is no excuse. Now let's get active, let's get functional, and let's get money.
You know what
Right.
I mean? There is a grocery store in every single state, so there's no excuse to get access to fresh food.
Right.
There's no excuse. You know
And
what I
they
mean?
have
But we
and they
we got
have
access.
parking.
Yeah, and they have parking. You can find ways to park, so you can't really use that as an excuse because every grocery store has a receiving bay. Because how else they gonna get their product?
Right. Right. Now you're right
Yeah.
on that. What do you think is like the biggest challenges for like trainees, working as team drivers? Like what's the biggest challenge for them?
Well, being on both sides, it could be difficult if the when your trainer gets frustrated, they're dealing with a lot because sometimes they may not get enough sleep. So they gotta wake up to help you, and they may not be in the greatest mood, and off of 1 hour sleep having to help you. It's just dealing with uh, someone that doesn't get sleep. They're more likely to be more irritated faster. So let's
Mhm.
say if someone makes a mistake or messes up, you may, hey, yo, wait, no, don't do that. Boom, your voice, your tone may change. They dealing with that. I'll say that's something that I know a lot of trainees deal with. I dealt with it. With my instructor when I'll make a mistake and I didn't, he'd tell me, oh, you were supposed to do this and that. And sometimes he would brace up on me and say, talk and, just being able to manage that and not just understand what you're out here for, the goal, the vision. You can't really get upset, just focus and not let the tone and how they speak really dictate how you maneuver. You got to just be in control. And then from a trainer perspective, well, you said trainee. I'll say that'll be the most difficult thing. Balance and then sleeping over the road. That's another thing too. Sometimes it's difficult sleeping. You're accustomed to sleeping in your bed, no movement. Then you got to sleep with a bumpy truck all day or all night. It's difficult. And then adjusting to the schedules because you may drive night one day, then the morning another day. So
Mm,
that's a big shift. That was one of the most difficult things for me too. Um,
right.
those are difficult things, and it comes with time where you get accustomed to it.
Right. Because I seen a video the other day where a trainee and a trainer were going at it, and this man just like the trainer just called the police on him and kicked him out the truck. I guess they got into an argument over his tone, just like what you mentioned, like the trainer's tone towards him, and he might have cursed at him. I don't know. This is what the trainee was reporting, and yeah, he called the cops on him, and the company was on the trainer's side, and he had to. And this was in Alabama, I think he was. I don't know if it was a
Oh
sundown
wow.
town or not, because you got to be careful with those sundown towns. So he got kicked out late at night at in Alabama, and he couldn't check in until like 5 hours later.
Roger, this is Richard. We talked a little while ago. Yep, I'm at the hotel. He doesn't want to get out. Will you send the police? All right, 911. Okay, I'll do that. Okay. All right, I'll let him know that. Okay. You got one chance to get out before I call the cops.
Do what you gotta do.
Huh?
Do what you gotta do. I ain't getting out no. You're not about to put me out no truck in the middle of nowhere.
I'm putting you out in a hotel.
No, it ain't my hotel. I'll be stuck down here.
Like I told you, you got one chance.
I'm not gonna be stuck here. You better give me somebody's phone number.
They're gonna contact you this morning.
No, they ain't. They better contact me now.
Like I said, you've got one chance to get out, and they just told me to call the police if you don't get out.
I don't care.
Then I'm gonna call the police, and you're gonna get out, and the police will escort you out of this truck.
Do what you gotta do.
Right now, I'm all done. You're gonna either get out and go in and check into the hotel.
I'm not going to no fucking hotel.
Then I guess we're calling the police.
Give me that guy number who you just said you just called. What's his number? Say somebody gotta tell me what they're gonna do. They want me to go there and what?
Yep.
Pick me up tomorrow?
Yep.
Give me money to go home?
Yep.
They gotta give me something.
This is Richard. I drive for Western Express. I am at the Red Roof Inn. I have a student on the truck that we've got a motel for him here. He will not get off the truck. My company told me to call the police and have the police come get him off this truck. Yes, he's refusing to get out of my truck.
It's not your truck. I work here.
You better pack your things. The cops are coming.
I don't give a fuck. I ain't packing nothing.
Huh?
Stop talking to me.
You can talk to the police all you want. You're still getting off.
I said stop talking to me.
Huh?
Stop talking to me.
Go ahead.
So I'm about to get in the gritty of what really happened. So now I'm getting off the highway. He's sleeping. I'm driving. And I get off the highway and I'm going down the street. I'm going to park into this little small gas station. So I busted U-turn because I missed it. And then I backed up. And when I was backing up, he bust through the curtains. Man, what the fuck are you doing up here, man? I said, I'm parking. And watch your fucking mouth. He like, nah, fuck that. You got to stop. You got to see what you're doing. I said, I know ain't nothing over here. There's no trucks over here. There's like one truck there. You know what I'm saying? Mad space. But watch how you talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So I parked and I just explained to him, like, you don't talk to me like that. You got to have respect when you talking to me. You don't talk to me all crazy, any type of way and shit like that. So then his aggressiveness calmed down once I got aggressive. Now his shit calmed down. And then he tried to start fake apologizing. So I was in the passenger seat and the police pulled up and it was two white officers and a black officer. And I'm trying to say my side. The black cop said, get the fuck out of the truck right the fuck now. I'm like, but what happened was like, get the fuck out of the truck now. Get your shit.
And those things are like dangerous. I know some companies kick drivers out like when they have like a disagreement, but that's one thing that I fear too with certain companies, kicking them out the truck far away from home. And yeah, but this guy got kicked out, and yeah, just like what you said, just going back and forth over the tone of voice and cursing. And like you said, you want to be humble, and as a newbie, you got to put up with some bullshit sometimes, but you don't want to throw away your pride or anything like that. And you don't want to have too much pride.
Yeah, that's a big thing. But like I said, you gotta understand. I want to say positions is more so. You gotta understand what's your objective. If you're gonna let a tone or how someone talked to you be the reason you don't get to where you want to be, that's on you. But it's just gonna increase the timeline it take you to get to where you want to go. So it's just you gotta use wisdom in those situations, and you just gotta don't don't snap, because I understand it's a pressurous time where I understand from a trainer perspective, if the trainee mess up, we could die. They could
Right.
hit something. I got to pay for that. That's stress. That's a lot to think about. So you like, man. But
Right.
on the trainee side, it's like, yo, come on, man. Why you yelling at me? Why So I
Yeah.
understand both sides. So
Nah, it could get a
that
little
is a big thing.
crazy.
Yeah, it definitely can get a little crazy. There's times, man, where I didn't get enough sleep training because you got to train them. They wake you up and they don't know what to do. You got to help them, and then it's hard to go back to sleep. And then you staying up, and just when you get back to sleep, you sleep for 3 hours. Then it's your turn to drive. Then you got to drive your whole clock out, and
Hmm.
it's hard to function like that. So those are things that you're gonna. It just comes with teaming, and yeah, I'll say that. That's what I'll say.
And are you
It's a
are
lot
you
that come
are
with it.
you hauling the tanker trailer
Nah, I'm Reefer.
or reefer? Okay, so you're also teaching them how to operate the reefer and temperature setting and do's and don'ts. So that's another thing too.
Yeah, teaching them how to do everything. Backing, that takes time though. It comes with practice. Um,
Right.
They're just the in and out procedures of prime and just delivering the load, just picking up and receiving.
Right.
So,
Right. Dealing with
teaching
the
them everything.
paperwork. So one thing I
Yeah.
want to ask you, how do you meal prep? Like, what's on your menu? Like, what do you prefer for food?
I'm gonna show y'all what I get. Take you on a day in the life of a truck driver. Grocery haul, that's what you call it. What do I need? I already got avocados. I'm looking for eggs. Though that I'm no longer vegan anymore. After just I don't know how much years it was. Yeah, I decided I want more protein in my life, so I'm incorporating eggs. So I'm vegetarian now. I'm no longer vegan. I'm vegetarian because I added eggs to my diet. And so that's what I'm looking for right now. So we getting these eggs. Pasteurized September. Oh, nah, these expire way too soon. Do I need some September 23rd? Oh, okay, what are these? Organic pasteurized. Yeah, we're gonna get these instead. October the 4th. All right, we got some time with this. All right, so I get pasteurized eggs. If you don't know the difference between these eggs and pasteurized, I'm gonna tell you. Pasteurized is basically deals with the environment. Basically, they were grown on I guess a farm or land. That's what you would say, pasteurized. It's all about the environment that the chicken grew up in. If you get these eggs right here, all these other eggs, you don't know where the environment they grew up. It could be in a lab. It could be in a warehouse. You know what I mean? And you know what goes on in the warehouses. And so, like, that's why I get the pasteurized eggs, because at least I know they were grown on a farm and the chickens were raised together. You know what I mean? So based on my research, that's what I know. And I'd rather have that. And then it's more nutritious based on results and science that I looked up. Yeah, I cut out plant-based foods in my diet. Well, not plant-based foods, the fake plant-based stuff they sell at the stores. I used to eat a lot of Impossible meat, Beyond sausages, but really it's just compressed oil. So I got some eggs. What else do I need? Oh, bagels. Show y'all these bagels I get. This day bread bagel is amazing. Yes, we got the day bread bagels. I love these. Let me see when they expire though. The one thing I don't like about the Dave's bread, they expire so soon, but typically things that are natural and organic expire faster than things that are processed. Why? Because they put preservatives in them. So that's the whole thing too. So I got 3 days to eat all these bagels, but that's fine because like I said, I got that plant-based cream cheese I'm gonna put on, and I'm gonna put the eggs on there, and it's gonna be fire. I feel like when I drink almond milk now, my stomach has problems. I don't know if they're changing the ingredients for sure. There's no way they're not. You can just feel it. But Now what I do is I just bless the food. That's what I want to talk about. Hey, Lord, bless this, allow this to nourish my body, heal my body. Thank you in the name of Jesus, I pray, amen. Everything. That's what you got to do. Bless the food. Because everything is getting touched now. Everything is affected. Everything ain't real. Let me get back to what I'm doing. Boom. This should be good, actually. Yeah, definitely chickpeas. That's another source of protein that I like. Everybody's experience is different. I'll say this. I tried to incorporate fish back in my diet before eggs, but whenever I would eat fish, my body, I noticed it just didn't feel the same. It felt weird. I noticed I was having, what's the word? What do you call them? I would go to sleep and I wake up and my body it'd be like goosebumps and stuff on my body whenever I would eat fish. I don't know if it's because my body adapting or, I know what it is. It's some fake fish, fake salmon. No, they putting fake salmon inside the ocean with the real ones and they eating the real ones. They like, yo, we don't want that real stuff. We need that inorganic, non-natural. But yeah, so that's why I'm not eating fish. My body I've gone so long without eating it. I guess my body just is like, no, you don't need that in your body. I listen to my body. So yeah. So it's just egg, pasteurized egg for me. Yeah. So we got chickpeas, got the bagels, I got little plant-based cream cheese, and I got the eggs. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Man, I've changed my diet a couple of times because I was vegan for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I changed my diet, it was because, well, I didn't know, I'll say this. My first year coming in, I didn't understand nutrition as I know now. So there were a lot of health issues that I had to deal with because I didn't know what I was intaking. I didn't really study it like that. But I was training like an athlete, but I wasn't filling my body up with the proper nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to eat a lot of impossible meats, plant-based stuff, smoothies, and that was it. That was really all I ate. I ate avocados, quinoa, smoothies, and then plant-based impossible meat, Beyond Meats every single day. That was all I ate. And like I said, at the time I thought that was healthy, but I realized through time that the impossible meat, the Beyond Meats, is really compressed oil. It's not really a great healthy option,
I
but
hear
they're
you
gonna
better off.
market it as such.
You better off eating a real thing, from what I hear.
Yeah, I'll say I'm not eating meat. I'm not eating meat, but I'll
Mm-hmm.
say it's not a healthy alternative. I'll say that.
Right.
Because my problem was I overconsume, and I did that for like 2.5, 3 years straight, just eating that, and my body broke down, man. I started dealing with digestion problems,
Mm-hmm.
protein. I was having protein problems, so my immune system was weak. Started getting sick more. There were days I would wake up and my body would just feel sick. I have rashes. I don't understand where this is coming from. I felt like I couldn't breathe. It was weird to me. I could not breathe. And I go into the truck stop and I just fall to the ground. I thought I was having a heart attack. I didn't
Wow.
know what was going on with me.
Yeah.
And I'm just breathing on, like trying to breathe on the floor. And I'm like, yo, is this it? I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was it. You start thinking about everything.
Right.
And, go to the hospital. They tell me everything looks fine. There's nothing, they couldn't find anything. That's what they told me. But I know I wasn't tripping with what I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I started doing more research on digestive issues, heartburn, acid reflux. And I come to find out it was a protein thing. And I wasn't getting my amino acids. And I've been doing a lot of research on recovery, protein intake, and I know the protein that we eat, it actually converts into amino acids. The protein that we eat converts into amino acids. And so I started taking amino acid supplements. I started taking magnesium. And through
Mm-hmm.
time, that helped me get my body better where I don't feel the same symptoms that I feel. I don't have rashes. I don't have digestion problems. I can breathe. Everything is good. But I know you said diet. What am I eating? I'm getting a little off topic.
No, that's good.
So right
Before
now,
before before you mention the diet, what vitamins are you taking? Like what healthy vitamins are you taking in herbs?
oh, okay, shoot. I'm gonna tell you, every morning I make a smoothie. And in the smoothies, I put sea moss, moringa. Those are the two things I put in every smoothie I make. But if I'm going to bed, I won't put the sea moss though, because it may keep me up.
Right.
I'll take sea moss and moringa. That's what I put in my smoothies. And I use frozen fruit. I use plant-based peanut butter. It's called Earth Balance, black seed peanut butter. That's the one I use. Any frozen fruit, strawberries, and bananas. I use water, and I put what is it called? I put turmeric in my smoothies.
Yeah, I like
I put
turmeric.
ginger,
Mm-hmm.
turmeric, ginger, sea moss, moringa, hemp seeds. That's what I do. And the reason why I do that is because sea moss gives you a lot of your vitamins and minerals. It gives you like 92 of 102 minerals. Ginger is good for inflammation. Turmeric is good for inflammation as well, but also digestion. So that you just want to do stuff that's gonna make digestion easier for you as a truck driver. You know
Right.
what I mean? That's something you want to do. So that's what I do. And then I use Orgain plant-based protein powder. That's the
Okay.
protein powder that I use. That's my smoothies. That's what I put in my smoothies, the vitamins. But supplements, like I said, sea moss, moringa. I take a amino acid supplement, full spectrum. I take the perfect amino. That one is a game changer, man. It helps in recovery, muscle growth, and just endurance and energy when you go to the gym. And it's something that our body needs every single day. And once
Right.
I started taking this, man, it was a game changer with my recovery, man, because I I was I just noticed like how my body recovers and how I feel when I take the perfect amino.
Mm.
And yeah, so I take a full spectrum amino acid supplement. It has 8 essential amino acids that your body needs every day. I take black seed oil as well. That's good for your omega 3s and omega 6s.
Okay.
Omega 3s and omega
Yeah,
sixes,
and
and
black
then
seed oil. I hear a lot of people mention that. Like that. That's a real big one. A lot. Real popular one. People talk about.
yeah, I take that. But you got to make sure you take it with food. Like if you're gonna take it, take a tablespoon of it with before you eat food or after you eat the food, because it's fat soluble. So you got to take it with food.
Okay.
Um, so I take that. I take a perfect amino. I mix that with water, and then I'll typically exercise.
Mm.
What else?
So the
So what
meal,
else?
the meal prepping now. So what's on the menu for the meal prepping?
On the meal prep, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a simple guy. I like quinoa. I put it on the rice cooker.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I cook it while I drive. It's simple. And then once I stop, I I put it up in the microwave, not microwave, but the fridge. And then if it get cold, I'll warm it up in the microwave. So I have quinoa, and then I've been eating eggs a lot too.
I like
I typically eat three
I
to
like my eggs boiled, or you do a boil or scrambled. I like boiled better.
Man, I was messing with the boiled, but just for time efficiency for me, and just having time, I scrambled it. It takes like 5 minutes to cook.
Right,
So
right.
I stopped boiling my eggs and I scramble them. Now it would take me like 3 minutes to cook it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
simple, fast, and effective. One thing I've learned with truck, you just got to make it simple. Don't try to do too much because it's a lot. Content creation, that's a full-time thing.
Right.
Working out, then meal prep, that takes time. So you got to find ways to just be efficient with
Nah.
less. You know what I
Right,
mean? So
right.
I I do I do 3 to 4 eggs a day. This is what I typically do. I'll split it up. I'll cook 2 eggs, scramble them, put them on a day. I like Dave's bread. It's a good bread, whole ingredients, and it has 6 grams of protein per. No, it's 3 grams of protein per slice. So I get 2 slices, so that's 6 grams of protein plus the egg, which is 6 per egg. So that's 18 grams of protein that I'll take from eating my egg sandwich, and then a smoothie is like 35 grams of protein. So that's a good 50. How much is that? Now that's 45. 45. That's like 53 grams of protein right there.
Right.
Um, yeah, so I'm a simple guy. I eat 4 eggs a day. Typically, I know it's 3 to 4 eggs a day. I'll make 2 egg sandwiches, 2 in the morning, and then 2 somewhere in the evening after I exercise. That's how I would do it. Um, and then I'll have another smoothie.
How many
And I
calories? how many calories do you like your goal for calories a day? Because right now I do like anywhere from like 1,200 to 2,000, 2,000 if I'm putting in a good workout. But if I'm not putting in extensive workout, I do like 1,200 calories. Me right now, I'm just doing like one meal a day, and I'll just like fast for the rest of the day.
Oh, you doing that? Oh man, what? That's what
Yeah.
they eat, 1 meal a day.
Yeah, I do the
You
one
gonna
meal a
turn
day
into a
right now.
breatharian?
Yeah, because I like to give
Breatharian.
I like to give my body time, my digestive system to rebuild itself and heal itself. So I mean, it depends on how much you working out or how active you are. If you're not that active, one meal a day is cool. Even if you are active, one meal a day is cool. But if you're doing extensive workout, then you can do two meals. But you got to give your body time to break down the food and like rest and like to heal itself too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And that's what you see when I first started training. I mean, first started trucking, and I said when I was training like an athlete, I was eating sometimes 1 meal a day. Sometimes I only eat 800 calories a day, 1,200. And if you're getting your protein intake, that's fine. But the problem is the protein intake, to retain to get the physique that you want.
Hmm.
That's where the perfect amino comes in, man. One scoop of this is equivalent to 29 grams of protein, and you can take it in the fasted state. You can mix it with water, so that
Hmm.
helps out a lot, knowing that I'm getting that extra protein conversion
Right.
um, with the perfect amino. But yeah, that is something that I do not often, but
Hmm.
I'll work out 2 weeks, eat what I need to eat, and I'll fast no eating for one day.
Okay.
And then the next day I get back to doing whatever I do. But like I said, it's probably once or twice a month. I don't do it too often. Whenever I feel like you can feel when you're getting backed up, or you feel like, dang, it feels like my body it's not digesting properly.
Right. Right. Time to
Um,
fast.
yeah, time. We know when it's time to fast. But I think what helps me out, why I don't feel it as much, I drink a lot of chlorophyll water.
Mm.
That helps flush your system out, and it also it binds the toxins and metals in your body when it's going through your system, so it pulls it out, and so it really flushes your system out. Chlorophyll, I mix that with water. I
Yeah.
do that to all my waters, really, gallons. And I make.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to say that. Yeah, I use chlorophyll water in my smoothie, so it helps with digestion too. I put a lot of herbs and vitamins in my smoothies. It helps out.
Oh, that's good. That's good. One thing I wanted to ask you too, when you're doing your workouts, like, like, what's a simple basic workout a trucker can do? Like, someone in like who's in like decent shape, not too much out of shape. Like, what would you consist of like a decent workout and like a timeline for them to work out?
Okay, it really depends on what your goal is. Do you want endurance or do you want strength? Or if you want a mixture of both, then I would combine the two. But just the sake of, we're gonna say, I'll say endurance,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say for endurance, if people don't want to jog, you can do hit exercises. So like circuits. So what I'll do is I'll pick 5 exercises, and I don't know what. Let's say they want to target arms, or let's say they want to do a full body. I'll do exercises that are compound exercises that target multiple muscle groups. So we start off with squat thrusters. We do 8 reps squat thrusters. Then we're going to lunges with another exercise. You can do lunges into a bicep curl. You can do lunges into a shoulder press. You can do lunges into a lateral raise. There's so much you can do to add on with your leg exercises. So yeah, we'll do a lunge. We'll say lunge into bicep curls. Boom. All right, that's the second exercise. Now the third exercise, we'll do RDLs into rows. Um, we'll do that 8 reps. Then we'll go into burpees, burpee
Mm.
swings. We'll do 8 burpee swings, and then you finish it off with a cardio exercise. We'll do some high knees, jump rope,
I
or
seen,
jumping
I seen,
jacks.
I seen, I seen you do jump rope, and jump rope is good. And I like jumping jacks because jumping jacks kind of like does the whole body. You're doing your arms, legs, stomach, and squats.
Yeah, you want to do things that stimulate blood flow and blood pressure throughout the body because Circulation is a big thing, and when you're sitting all day, it's going to stunt that circulation. So you got to do things to get the blood flowing. That's crucial. It don't matter how much strength training you do, it will not reverse the adverse effects of inactivity. So you want to do things that incorporate endurance, hit exercises that's going to work your heart, get the blood flowing, but also strength train too.
What about push-ups?
So,
Push-ups good?
oh yeah, push-ups are too. I was just giving an example of someone, wanted to work every muscle group in the
Mm-hmm.
exercise. Yeah, I do push-ups. I do a lot of leg raises. I love doing leg raises. That's a great ab exercise. Leg raises. You could do them on the floor. You could do them on the bar. You could do them on a pull-up bar. Push-ups. Yeah, push-ups is one of my go-to things. I love doing push-ups. Um, but they're incorporated in my burpees,
Okay.
technically. Yeah, but yeah, push-ups. I used to do 100 push-ups every single day. Mm, I like doing sit-ups, squats. You can keep it simple.
I know you on the road. I don't want to hold up your time. You're a busy man. So, last question I want to ask you: what would you say? What would you say to like new drivers who are like trainees, who's about to be a trainee, who's about to do team driving? Like, what advice would you give them?
And remember why you out there. Remember why you're out there. It's gonna be difficult. Everything. Anytime you're trying to obtain something that's not comfortable, you're gonna face some resistance. But just deal with the resistance, and eventually you're gonna hit a new all-time high. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. As you go up in levels, you face resistance. That's
Mm-hmm.
just a sign that you're growing. So just be patient. Understand it comes with the process. Um, Learn, absorb up all the information that you can. Try to learn as much as you can from your instructor, and understand that you're human too. And they're not getting, if they're training you and they have to help you, they're not getting sleep. So keep that in mind too. Because I know it, attitude, tone, that could be a thing. Just
Mm-hmm.
remember why you're out there. Try to absorb as much information as you can. So that way when you're on your own, you know what to do. You have a routine and a plan set for yourself. That's what I'll tell them. Just be patient, absorb information. Because
Mm.
eventually you'll be by yourself, and you don't have to worry about that. But it just comes with the process. It does. That's what I'll say to people who are about to start trucking and they're about to be with a trainee. You know, it's just a process you got to go through.
How long? How
I know
long
it's
does
tough. You're not.
how long does the trainee process last? What like what? Y'all got to train them for like 2 weeks?
Oh no. See, nah, it's not 2 weeks, man. It's 50,000 miles. When I came, it was 50,000 miles. So that's
Mm.
about 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time, man.
Yeah.
And some people be like, I'm done with this. I can't, but like I said, you just gotta stay patient, man. Stay diligent. Remember why you're out there. You gotta remember why you're out there, because if you don't, you just gonna, you just leave. You gotta remember why you're doing the things that you're doing. You want better for yourself. Remember those things that you told yourself before you started. Um, but yes, 50,000 miles. That's about 2 months. They dropped it to 30,000, so about a month and a half. That's how long it takes. But that's with Prime. Other companies don't take that long. Some companies are 2 weeks, some are a week. One
Mm.
thing I like about Prime, though, is some people really do need that training, because they'll get trained for 2 weeks and really don't fully grasp what's going on or understand it. And then they end up making a mistake, and then they get fired, and now their record is messed up, and now they cannot find a job.
Right.
And I know people who have been in that position before. So it I say it's better to absorb the information, learn the training, and don't skip steps, man. You got to go through the process.
Right. That's a
Like
fact,
Kobe
man.
Bryant would say, there is no substitute for time. So you got to work. You got to put the reps in.
That's a
Simple.
fact, brother. Brother True King, I appreciate you coming to the show. We definitely gonna keep the link and link up soon, brother.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. We definitely going to do another one, too.
Yeah, man. So, yo, appreciate you. Just drive safe on the road. I'm gonna talk to you soon.
All right, man. You be safe out there, man.
All right, brother. Take care.